Hello viewers, welcome to my channel. I'm Hasham Ali Khan. So now I'm continuing the videos on GST, Theory and Practice of GST. Already first unit I have uploaded 7 videos on the basics regarding the meaning of the term GST, benefits of GST, types of GST, that is CGST, SGST, IGST, GSTIN. All these things I have explained in unit number 1. Then unit number 2, getting started with GST. In this second unit, 2 videos I have uploaded so far. The first video regarding the interstate supplies and intrastate supplies. And apart from that, the returns, that is sales return, purchase return, and reports. What are the reports generated under GST? That is GSTR 1 and GSTR 2. Now, this is the third video in unit number 2. In this video, I'm going to explain you about the hierarchy for applying tax rates. Very frequently in examination, they will ask you theory question, short theory question regarding the hierarchy for applying tax rates. And secondly, the main problem will be asked regarding enabling GST. That means by default, GST is not enabled, it is disabled. Now, if you want the GST, you have to enable it. So what are the steps required to enable the GST in Tally ERP 9 and the details of tax details, how to give the tax details, all these things. So 2 topics, hierarchy for applying tax rates and secondly enabling GST in Tally ERP 9. So before explaining, take a screenshot of the points given on the board, then I'll explain all the points. Now, come on. First, we'll start with hierarchy for applying tax rates. Remember one point. There is not a single tax rate for GST. We have different tax rates of GST on different types of goods and services. So there are hierarchy of tax rates. That means how to, implement the tax in GST. So what is the hierarchy? So Tally ERP 9 allows users to define tax rate at various levels. So different levels are there in Tally ERP 9. In these different levels, the person has to give the different tax rate at different levels. We can set up GST rates at multiple levels in Tally. So there at different levels, the person has to apply the different rates. So at what levels GST rate can be set up at? So totally 6 stages are there. 6 steps are there where a person can be able to give the tax rate. The first level is company level. The tax rate can be fixed at company level. Second, tax rate at stock group level, stock item level, accounting group level, accounting ledger level. Last one is transaction level. At these levels, the tax rates can be fixed by the user, right? The highest level is the company level, and the lowest level where he can fix the tax rate is the transaction level. Highest level, company level. Lowest level, transaction level. There he can fix the tax rate. So company level is the highest level and the transaction level is the lowest level where a person can give. When tax rate is set up at a higher level, then level in the hierarchy, it is applicable to all items that fall within the hierarchy. Suppose if the tax rate is given at the highest level, that is company level, so automatically that tax rate will be applied to all the levels below company level. Below company level. So whatever tax rate, if you fix at the company level, that tax rate will be applied to all the levels. Suppose if you fix the tax level at, suppose accounting group level, then that tax level will apply to accounting ledger level and transaction level. The lowest level where you can give the tax rate is the transaction. That means at the time of transaction itself, you have to specify the rate. So this is called hierarchy for applying tax rate in GST. So totally how many levels? 6 levels a person can be able to apply the tax rate. Now second question is very frequently asked. The second question is getting started with the GST. That means what is the procedure of enabling GST in Tallying ERP 9? So if you are using Tally ERP 9, automatically by default it is not enabled, it is disabled. Now it is your job to enable the GST. Then only you can get all the benefits of GST. All the features of GST only after enabling. So how to enable? Some procedure is given, steps are given. That's what we are going to discuss here, and that's what you have to write in examination. Right? What are the steps? To use Tally ERP 9 for GST compliance, you need to activate the GST feature. GST feature is already available in Tally ERP 9. The only thing is you have to activate or you have to enable it. Then only you can be able to comply the provisions of GST. Now once activated, then GST related features are available in the ledger, in the stock items, in the transactions, and GST returns can be generated. Only after activating the GST feature or after enabling the GST feature, then you can have all the GST features in the transactions, in the groups, then in the stock items, in the ledgers. All these things you will find the GST features, and then you can prepare the GST returns. You can generate the GST returns if it is enabled. Now the first step is to create the company. First of all, from beginning we are going. So from beginning, first of all, you have to create the company. Already you know how to create the company. So in Tally, enable GST features for the company and then create ledgers. The 3 steps are there. The first step is to create the company. Second step is to activate or enable the GST. And last feature is to create the ledger and accounting vouchers. So once ledgers and groups are created, you are ready now. You have to simply enter the transaction. Automatically GST will take care of the rest of the calculations. Now the following steps must be followed. The first step, creating a company. Already everybody knows because we have done computerized accounting subject. In that we have seen how to create a company. So to go to gateway of Tally, the first of all you have to open the Tally package. Go to gateway of Tally. Press Alt plus F3. Alt plus F3 if you press, then press create company. After pressing Alt plus F3, then you press create company. Enter the basic information. Once the option of creating the company comes, you have to give the basic information of the company. So what is the basic information? Such as name of the company, mailing address, etc. So many details will be asked for company creation. The main name of the company and the mailing address. Apart from that, other details. There may be some other fields. The first day of the current financial year will be displayed by default. By default, the first day of the financial year. Financial year begins from 1st April and ends on 31st March next year. So for this financial year, the first day of the financial year is 1st April. So by default, the date will be displayed as 1st April. Now, if you want to change the date, you can change the date. The date can be changed, then press Y or enter to accept and save. Once if you fill up the basic details of the company creation, after giving the details, press Y or simply press enter to accept and save. That's all. This is the step in order to create the company. Now second step is enable GST feature. Just now I told you by default GST feature will be disabled. Now you have to enable it. By giving the different information, it will be activated, enabled. Once it is enabled, then you give all the information. Then afterwards, when you enter the transactions, automatically the GST calculations will be made, and GST reports we can get, and GST returns are generated. So how to enable the GST? Second step I am going to explain. To enable GST feature, go to Gateway of Tally. Then immediately when you enter into Gateway of Tally, press F11. F11 is the features button. Already in computerized accounting we have discussed. The features are available in F11. Then press F3 to arrive at the statutory and taxation details. So after entering into features, then press F3. This F3 will ask you the statutory and taxation details screen will be displayed after pressing F3. So in this F3, it will ask you first of all, enable goods and services tax. Enable goods and services tax. By default, it will be no. So change it to yes. Secondly, set alter GST details. By default, it will be no. So make it yes. By making this to yes, your GST will be enabled. Now you have to provide all the information, tax details. Now, this will display another screen where you set details, GST details of the company. So once if you make this yes, enable goods and services tax, yes, and set alter GST detail, yes. Once if you press 2 yes, then it will display a screen which will ask you further details of your GST. So what are the details of GST? It will ask you the state of the company, such as state in which the company is registered. That means the GST rates will be different, the GST provisions will be different for different states. So first of all, it will ask you the state of registered office. The company is registered. Registration type. We have different types of registrations. Here we have to specify the type of the registration. Then GSTIN number, identification number. So every GST, registered GST holder person will be allotted GSTIN. So GSTIN number will be asked, etc. The tax rate details need to be entered into the tax rate details screen. So after completing this basic details, tax details, now we have to enter the details of the tax rates. Details of the tax rates. Then that screen will be open. Press Y or enter to accept and save. Once you enter the details of GST, then details of tax rates, then it will ask you whether it should be accepted and saved or not. Press Y. Or simply if you press enter, then whatever data you have given, that will be accepted and it will be saved. In this way, we can enable the GST feature in your Tally ERP9. Now next is ledger creation. So first you have created the company. Secondly, you have enabled the GST feature. And thirdly, you have to create the ledgers. So here we now need to create ledgers that will enable us to pass accounting entries. Without having the ledger, simply without having the accounts, how you can be able to give the transactions? So before entering the accounting entries, you must have the ledgers, ledger accounts. So here you have to create. How to create the ledger accounts? Then go to Gateway of Tally. To create ledger, we need to Gateway of Tally, select accounts info. In Gateway of Tally, you will find the option accounts info, that is information. Then select ledgers and finally select create. So first of all, go to Gateway of Tally. In that Gateway of Tally, select accounts info. Then accounts info, select the ledger. Under ledger, select create. Select create. Then create, such as purchases, sales, state tax, central tax, integrated tax. So many ledger accounts are there. The ledger accounts are relating to receipts, relating to payments, relating to purchases, relating to sales, so relating to central tax, state tax, etc. Stock item names, etc. For all these things, you have to open the ledgers. Then we need to select the appropriate group to which each such ledger belongs. Finally, enter the related information required and then press enter, accept and save. So we need appropriate groups for all the ledgers. So if you want, divide all the ledgers into different groups, it will be convenient for us if we make the grouping. So after giving all this information, press Y or simply enter button. Then automatically it will be accepted and saved. We can now start entering accounting entries. Over, finished. Your GST is enabled. Now you are ready to enter the accounting entries. Enter, give the accounting entries, automatically it will be taken in the ledger accounts. In the ledger, appropriate tax rate will be applied. By tax rate, applying the tax rate, automatically you can get the GSTR reports, GSTR1 and GSTR2, and also returns of GST. Then for this, we need to go to Gateway of Tally and select accounting vouchers. If you want to give the entries, accounting entries, go to Gateway of Tally, select accounting vouchers. So different accounting vouchers are there. In that vouchers, you have to give the accounting entries. There are many accounting vouchers in Tally, such as receipts, payments, contra, sales, purchase, etc. Examples are given. That means entries are relating to any transaction relating to purchasing the goods, selling the goods, receiving the cash, paying the cash, etc. We need to choose the relevant voucher and start passing the accounting entries. See what is the nature of the transaction, whether it is a purchase transaction or sale transaction or receipt transaction or payment transaction, contra transaction. First, see what is the nature of the transaction where we can give this voucher entry. Enter the voucher entry, automatically your returns, your GST returns will be automatically created. So in this video, I have explained you about the hierarchy for applying tax rates that will be asked in short questions, and also how to enable the GST feature in Tally ERP 9. What are the steps involved in activating, in enabling the GST feature in Tally ERP 9? That's all. Inshallah, next topic we will discuss in the next video.